Imagine being handed 3 different contracts: Vendor A, Vendor B, and Vendor C. Each looks promising, but the fine print can feel like a maze. Instead of reading line by line, I uploaded all 3 contracts into Beewant's library and organized them into a collection. That way, I could run side-by-side comparisons and dig straight into the details that matter most. The first question I asked was, summarize the key differences in payment terms between Vendor A and Vendor B. Beewant showed that Vendor A required stricter upfront payments, while Vendor B spread payments more evenly. Vendor C, on the other hand, offered milestone-based payments that gave more balance between cash flow and project progress. Next, I wanted to know, which contract has stricter confidentiality obligations? Vendor B came out with the tightest restrictions, limiting flexibility in collaborations. Vendor A was less rigid but still protective. Vendor C sat somewhere in the middle, more flexible than B, but with clearer protections than A. Of course, liability is always a make-or-break clause. So I asked, highlight differences in liability clauses. Vendor A capped liability at the contract value, Vendor B had broader uncapped terms, and Vendor C introduced shared liability depending on the type of breach. That gave me a much clearer view of the risk exposure with each option. Then came the big operational factor. Which agreement offers more flexibility in termination terms? Vendor A gave more straightforward exit options. Vendor B added penalties that made it harder to walk away, while Vendor C allowed termination with notice, but only under specific conditions. Finally, I asked the ultimate wrap-up question. Which vendor should I pick for my business? Beewant didn't just name one, it weighed the trade-offs. Vendor A offered flexibility, Vendor B stronger protections, and Vendor C a more balanced middle ground. The real value wasn't a one-word answer, but a breakdown that let me choose based on what mattered most to me: cash flow, risk, or flexibility. What struck me throughout the process is that every answer respected the instructions I had set when creating the collection: clear, comparative, and actionable. Instead of spending hours with a highlighter, I had a structured comparison across 3 vendors in just minutes. With Beewant, reviewing contracts doesn't feel overwhelming, it feels strategic. Join us at Beewant.com for more information.